Hello everybody out there in Flosstube world. This is Vicki, aka the Virginia Stitcher, coming to you with Flosstube video number 11. I'm still awkward when I do these. I'm hoping that I get better. I'm always feel like I'm stumbling over my words, so I'm glad that you guys are being patient with me and understanding, and some of you like my videos anyway, so I'm so glad. I just have a love of cross stitch and I want to share it. I do have two finishes this week to show you. I still need to FFO them. I still need to fully finish them into one piece I want to frame and another piece I want to try to do some kind of flat fold with. So I do need to do that. But I have two finishes, a whole bunch of whips, and a little bit of haul to show you guys today. So I do have a couple of little notes so I can keep track. So I just want to welcome you all to my video. I'm so glad you came back. For you that are new, welcome. For you that are coming back again and again, I thank you so much. And I hope that all of you enjoy it, you like, you subscribe, and continue watching my channel. And I'll keep sharing my cross stitch with you guys. So the first thing that I want to go over is the couple of finished pieces that I have, and they were ones that if you saw my last video probably won't be much of a surprise. I told you I wanted to work on them and try to get them finished, and I did. The first one is pumpkin spice, and let me put it on a board here, maybe so I'll be able to hold it up better. This one is a design by Shannon Christine, and the pattern is here. Whoops, I'm sorry, a lot of glare. And here's my finished piece. This one was stitched on a piece of 16 count Dirty Ada using the called for DMC threads. And one of the things that I do like about Shannon Christine is she uses really bright, vibrant colors. So it's just a nice, refreshing look. So this piece is gonna get, I have a frame, kind of a framed piece I picked out of a clearance section for 99 cents, I think at Joann's in the back. They have like usually a clearance section area, and I picked that up back there, and it had a saying on it, but I'm going to cover it over with this piece. I'm just trying to decide which fabric I want to use to go around the piece, and what kind of maybe ribbon or edging kind of stuff that I want to use. But this was my first finish. I started this one, I do have the project sheet here somewhere. This was one that I had started, here we go. I had started this one back on October 15th of 2020. And then I worked on it back in October and some in May. And I also had it for a car project for a little while through the winter months. I would take my lunch hour, and if it was a nice day, park in a shady spot, a sunny spot, and then kind of work on this a little bit on my lunch hour when I was finished eating. I worked a desk job. I'm retired now, but I worked a desk job, and if I sat at my desk and tried to cross stitch or do anything, read a book or whatever, people were always coming in and bugging me. They just never understood that I'm on my lunch hour. I kind of wished I had a sign. I had a girlfriend that I worked with too that she actually made an out to lunch sign, and she would put it on her desk when she was reading a book or whatever, trying to relax for her lunch hour. So I would just go out and sit in the car when the weather was nice, and sometimes I would stitch on this piece. This was one of the pieces I would take and stitch on. And I picked it back up again on August 20th, and I worked on it for, looks like about 7 or 8 days, and got this finished. So this piece is ready to be fully finished and on display in my my dining room area, where I have kind of a coffee service area. I think I want to, and a little buffet table. I think I want to set it on that. So that is my first finish. My second finish was another one that I had about half finished, and it's not a really big project. So I was able to finish it, and it was the Jardin Privé ABC Halloween. And this, I picked up a black frame that I want to put it in and display it, you know, in October. So I do have about 3 weeks till this will need to be framed. But a plain framing a piece is easy to me because it doesn't take a lot of thought process. It's trying to think of things for flat folds, a little fancier finishes like Priscilla finishes. A little harder for me. I want to try them. I'm looking so forward to trying to get some finishes like that. So I'm hoping next time, my next video, I'm hoping to show you a couple of fully finished objects. But this is the ABC Halloween by Jardin Privé. This one I stitched on a piece of fabric that someone so graciously gifted me at StitchCon. And it is a piece of 16 count lemongrass opalescent color. You can see the sparkle by Mystic Fabrics. And I just thought that this piece just worked wonderful for this ABC Halloween piece. The white is a little bit harder to pick up, but it's still, you can still see it. You can still see it in person pretty well. So I am really happy with this piece. And like I said, I'm going to put it in a black frame that I picked up at a store we have here in Fredericksburg called At Home. It's just one of those home stores that has lots of decor in it. And was able to pick up a black frame, an 8x10 frame. This will fit in nicely. So that is my second finished piece that I got done this last couple of weeks since I last checked in with you lovely people. So I will have these 2 patterns. I am going to pay it forward, give these 2 patterns past the stash, so to say. I have finished them, so at the end of my video, I will let you know if you're interested in either one of these charts, how you can go about entering for a giveaway for those. So those were my FFOs, and now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, looks like 9 whips. I was kind of all over the place. Now I did tell you that for the month of August, I was doing a 30-minute a day piece that I was doing in the mornings while I was drinking my coffee and just kind of settling in and getting ready for my day. I'm going to take it out of the plastic because I know I do get such a glare on the plastic. It makes it harder to see. But this one is a Quaker study that I picked up from Keepsakes in Ohio when I was there for StitchCon. And it is by Carriage House Samplings. And I am doing this along with a couple of ladies that I met and became friends with at StitchCon. In fact, we're supposed to meet this Saturday to get together and stitch for a little while. So I'm so looking forward to that. So I was working on this piece for 30 minutes a day for the month of August. And I had told you that I was projecting that I think I could get about half of this finished over the last week I had for the rest of the month after my last check-in with you. And this is how far I was able to get. Now this one is being stitched on a piece of 16 count Aida in the color All the Things by, where is it? Mystic Fibers. So this is All the Things by Mystic Fibers, and I'm stitching it with 1 thread, and it is a Threadworks color that I'm doing that's got a lot of autumnal, it's like a blend of autumnal colors, and it is 1043 by Threadworks, and really enjoying using this on this. I think it's coming out really pretty. So I was able to, that last week that I was working on it, I think I didn't have this finished and all of these over here finished and do the alphabet. So I still do have 2 more motifs. They're, I think they're called the Flower Star pattern in Quaker. 2 of those left to do here, and then I've got the bottom half of the design still to do. So I'm about halfway there, which is good because actually I bought 2 of these. I have completely used up the first one. So I have a feeling I'm gonna be playing a little bit of thread chicken with this. I may end up having to buy a third just to get the last little bit done, or maybe it'll be enough. But it seems like it's gonna be very close to having just enough thread to do this, or possibly having to buy some more. And I don't know how the color lots work for Threadworks. This is the first time I've ever used a Threadworks. So I don't know, you know, if the dye lots will match if I pick up another one. Since it is a variegated, it's not like it's one solid color. I would think it would work. So if I need another skein of that, hopefully I'll be able to get it to match up. So that was my Quaker study that I was doing for my 30 minutes in the month of August. Now my 30-minute piece these last, what is today, the 7th, for this past week was working on the ABC Halloween, and I wanted to work on that until I finished it. And then I'm going to switch to another little Halloween piece that I've showed you before called Trick or Treat by Shannon Christine, the same one who did the pumpkin spice. So that is my plan, is to try to finish up, use my 30 minutes in the morning to finish up some of those smaller pieces. So that is whip number 1. Whip number 2 was a piece I showed you last time, and I had a little bit of work done on it, but not a whole lot. Let me see if I can just not get a lot of glare. This one is by Silver Creek Samplers, and this is my Christmas list. And when I showed it to you the last time, I had just the family visits, most of the string of lights done, and just started on the car, and I had the Christmas tree on the top of the car finished. So I picked it up and I worked on it. It looks like I worked on it another maybe couple of days after the last time I checked in with you. Another 2 days. I'm doing this with the called for DMC, and I'm doing it on, where is it? 16 count Ada in the color Heartland. And I'm gonna see if I can just hold this up. And this is how far I was able to get on this piece. So I was able to finish the car. And I do have a little slight change that I'm doing on this one. And I don't know if it's gonna pick up and show. Well, one of the things that I did change on this car, it showed the tail light in white also, but most cars I see have red tail lights. So I changed it to the same color red that's in here. I just did the 3 little stitches there in the red color. And then I switched, and I'm using a Kryneck. I believe it's a Kryneck. Let me get my threads out here. These are mostly DMCs, and I just put them in floss away bags, but I do have this one Kryneck that was left over in my stash that I'm going to use on some of the little parts, and I did put it around this tree here, so I don't know if you can see the little bit of sparkle. And then I'm using a white blended, kind of opalescent looking thread here, mixing one strand of that with one strand of white. I'm going to do that for all of the snowflakes through here. It's really hard to see the snowflakes in the stitching, but here is one here, and there's a couple there, and I don't know if you can really see the sparkle. I'm just doing 2 strands of white in regular places where there's white, but on the snowflakes I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle. So that is a change I've done with this one. So this one is My Christmas List by Silver Creek Samplers, and it is stitched on the 16 count Ada in the color Heartland. And with all the called for DMCs, except for I needed to switch out an anchor thread for the one color, for 3051. My Joann's didn't have it, but they did have a big display of the anchor threads that they have on spools. They have a big display, and then above the display is a chart, and it has a DMC conversion. So it tells you if you're looking for this DMC color, this color works in Anchor. So I was able to, since they didn't have the 3051 in DMC, go over to their display there, look up what 3051 was, and pick up the Anchor equivalent. And I did that. So, but all the rest are the DMCs. And that's one way, one cool way of being able to still get all of the colors that you need, but not have to wait. If you're here in Fredericksburg, we have a Hobby Lobby, we have a Joann's, and we have a Michael's. Those are the only places that normally I can get my any cross-stitching supplies, and it's mostly just DMCs and things like that, or some needles or whatever. Hobby Lobby does not carry the Anchor, not here in Fredericksburg anyway, but Michael's and Joann's does. So they are a great alternative for DMC. Now my next whip is a Prairie Schooler, and it's the Village Sampler. And I had showed this to you guys last week, I believe. 2 weeks ago when my last video. And I picked it up and I did some more work on this one. This one, I worked on it August 22nd and 24th. So I worked on it a couple more days. And this one is being stitched on 16 count Aida in the color Milk Chocolate. And I'm using the called for DMCs. And I was working on the barn right here. And I finished filling in the brown in the barn. I had the white fence done and all the white trim. And I was in the middle. I had just started filling in some of the brown. So I was able to finish filling that in. And this is how far I was able to get on the Village Sampler by Prairie Schooler. So I have worked on the church here, the trees, this building and tree. This building, I haven't done the corn stalks back here, the birds flying over, but I've got a lot of this side of the piece finished. Let me see if I can hold that up better for you. So that is how far I was able to get on this piece, and I'm really enjoying this. Like I had said before, I feel like Prairie Schoolers are just so classic. They've been around for, since the 80s, I think. So really enjoying that piece. Trying to keep my stuff kind of together so that I don't have to try to figure and sort it all out afterwards. Okay, my next whip is by the Blue Flower, and this one is Huckleberry Farm. And this is what this one looks like. And I had worked up here in this corner, and then I had come in since the last time I had showed it to you guys and started working on the house. So that little house there. And this one is being stitched on 16 count Aida in the colorway Glacier. And I'm loving this color for this piece. Let's see if I can hold it up well enough, or if I need to put it on my board for you guys. This is how much, well, let me hold it better. Put this off my lap because it's just going to fall on the floor anyway. I don't know what it is with me holding things in my lap, but I don't do too well. But this is, I had already had, you know what? I'm sorry, people. Let me put this on. Let me put it on its board. That would probably be a better idea than trying to finagle it. There we go. All right, here we go. I had already done this part of the Huckleberry branch. These two little birds. This one looks like a hummingbird to me. Another little bird up here. This mountain scenery here with the bear. This snow-capped mountains. I had already finished that, but I had come over in this past week and worked on some of this house. In fact, I was working on this part of this bottom roof line, and that's why I have a thread sticking up there. And that's how far I was able to get on Huckleberry Farm. And like I said, that looks more gray. This is more true to color back here. It's a really pretty blue color fabric, and I just love it for this piece. Like I said, this is in the colorway Glacier by Picture This Plus, and it's a 16 count Aida. So that is how far I was able to get on Huckleberry Farm. I noticed at Expo that the Blue Flower came out with a new one. Something about Moon. I love it. That one is on my list to probably get sometime as soon as I can find it available. I didn't pre-order it because it's not like I need it so badly that I have to have it right this minute, but I like it. My next piece is my Shores of Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. And that was a piece that looks like this. And I had already had this block finished, and then I was working on the house in this block, and I was able to finish the house. And this one, I am using the called for DMC colors, and I'm doing it on a very large piece of Coffee and Tea Dyed by Me 16 count Aida. And this is how far I was able to get. Like I said, I already had this block done, and I already had the lettering done, this white motif, and all of the top part of the house done. And I was finishing, and I had already had the doors and windows in, but I was finishing filling it in. And so I finished filling in that house. So I still need to put the little lady that's up here on the Widow's Walk and put the grass down at the bottom, and there's a little fence on either side, and there's a little sailboat on either side with a little bit of water, like it's on the shore. And let's see if I can show you. So that is, this little lady here still needs to go in, and I still need to fill in all of this down here and the other little white motif. So I do still have some work to do on this one. To finish a block, that second block in this one. I am loving this piece. This is one that is going to be a, I don't know if you'd say commemorative or memorial piece or whatever, but for my father. He was in the Navy. He was a retired senior chief, and spent over 20 years in the Navy. So yes, I'm a Navy brat, and I'm a Navy wife. My husband is in the Navy, so Navy family. Except for my son-in-law's in the Army, so we like to razz each other about that. But I want to have it displayed. I have my dad's ashes in an urn, and I want to have this eventually finished one of these days and framed and put over on the wall behind where I have his urn. And I want to change the one block that says in memory of Lieutenant Jacob something something, and I want to change it to my dad's name and his date of birth and death. So that is the plan for that piece. My next whip is by Plum Street Samplers, and this one is a new constellation. And this is one of the patriotic pieces that I want to do a patriotic wall right outside of my craft room as a hallway that has, there's nothing hanging there. Just like all of this, there's nothing hanging there. I did prop a Lady of the Flag over here in the corner. My plan is I'm thinking of just going ahead and putting some pictures up here. And I'm still trying to think of what color I want to paint the wall in here. So I can go ahead and temporarily hang things until I figure out what color I want to paint the wall there. So this piece, I just picked up, and I had started it on Flag Day on June 14th, and I worked on it the 14th and 15th of June, and then I picked it up again on August 28th, and I worked on it for a day, and I was able to get a little bit done on this. All these previous pieces that I've been showing you are done on 16 count Aida. This one is done on a 28 count Lugana in the color Sand. And this is what it's looking like so far. And I picked the 28 count Lugana because there is some 1/1 stitching. This June 14th date is 1/1. I started some of the wording, and it's in 1/1. So this last time that I picked it up, I extended the border here a little bit. I did this little bit of border. I put in the little bobbins and scissors. And this lady, I started her. I believe that's supposed to be Betsy Ross on her wedding day to her first husband. And then I filled in this flower. I filled in the leaves and these little flower buds over here. And that's what I was able to get done. If you notice, I haven't finished my border. When I do a lot of borders, like even on the Shores of Hawk Run, when I do the Hawk Run pieces, I start out by, it was a tip I'd seen on Flosstube, and it was a wonderful tip, is when you have to count a long line, like a long border, to every 10th stitch, you know, just do a half stitch all the way down and count it as you go. And on your 10th one, do the full cross. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, full cross, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I do that so that I can count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. It's easier that way to keep track of where I am. So I have not finished. I have not gone back over and finished stitching this border yet because I'm not finished with it. But that's for a tip for any of you that haven't heard that tip before. Works wonderful. Before I would always go, oh man, I gotta do 150 stitches, 157 stitches. And then I start counting, blah, 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 blah. And as I'm stitching, and either my husband will ask me a question or start talking to me, or the phone rings, or I just get distracted. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, was I at 51 or 52? Oh man. And then I have to go back. I have to start counting all over again. And then I might have to do that 3 or 4 times. And then I do it again just to make sure that I counted it properly before I finish the row I'm doing. So when I have a long row of stitches, I've started doing that. And that has helped me quite a bit on keeping track of what I'm doing while I'm stitching. Because I watch sometimes Annie, the proper stitcher. She says counting is hard. Yes, it is. So that's what I do to help with the counting of long stitches like that. Now the next one is my stitch along piece. I am doing a Twin Peak Primitive stitch along for my channel, for my Facebook group. And it's any Twin Peak Primitives that you want to stitch on. It's a no pressure one. You stitch as many days as you want. If it takes you 2-3 years to finish it, so be it. Just enjoy the stitch along, and we can share our progress on my Facebook group, the Virginia Stitcher Facebook group. I'll list it below in the description, and also on Instagram, hashtag Twin Peak Primitives SAL for stitch along. But my piece that I picked, and like I said, it could be any Twin Peak Primitives piece that you want to stitch on. Mine is One Nation Under God. So it looks like this. And I had started in the middle. So I had started on this banner here, and I had Under God finished. I had this one urn, part of the swan, part of one of the pillars, and just the blue part of the lady's dress done when I showed this to you last time, I believe. And it's my Sunday piece. My goal is to try to work on this pretty much every Sunday, unless I'm hindered for some reason. And this is how far I was able to get. So I did finish the swan. I did finish the little lady. I did finish this pillar and the flowers. I come down here and done part of the flag that's down here, this star, and the start of this large potted plant that's on this side. So I'm working on this large potted plant and this flag down here. But I did do the star. This side. Everything's backwards to me. There's a lady on this side. That's the side I've been working on. This is a little man over here on this side. So I'm working on this potted plant and this flag here. And I did get a little bit of the words in before. But this right here was the end of a page. So that's as far as I went that way. And I'm actually, the end of that page ended like right in the middle of this lady here. So I'm starting on the next page that joins it. So that's how far I was able to get. This one is, I forgot to tell you, this one is stitched with the called for. No, I'm sorry, not the called for. If any of you want to know what I'm using to stitch this piece, I can certainly let you know. But that's my scribble. That is all of the conversions that I've made to the colors that they have. And most of the reason for my conversions of the colors is I did not have them. And I have a stash, so I just went through what I had, looked at the picture, and tried to match as close as I could to what the called fors were, and just did my own conversions for a lot of the colors. Like I know up here, these leaves are completely a different color, and so is the green background here. This is a Victorian motto color called Valley Green. So I know that's not the called for color. And over here, I'm using, I believe it's Weeks Dye Works Camouflage for the leaves. And for the stem work, it is another Victorian motto in the color Bronzed Green. So I just had to make a lot of conversions to be able to start this piece and not have to wait forever to be able to get all the called fors. So I have... really change this one up. Oh, my chicken scratch. People. So that is that whip, and I'm enjoying that so much. And then I had 2 new starts this month. And one I had said I'm doing a fair amount of sampler September. Like I had said before, am I going to only work on samplers? No. I probably want to work on some of my Halloween pieces, some of my other fall pieces. But I do want to get a lot of work done also on my samplers that I have. And I had this one that I had just gotten in not too long ago. It had been on back order. And it's called A Changed World by the Scarlet House. And I had started this one on the 1st of September. And I worked on it for a couple of days. And I was able to get this far, and it's kind of crooked in the Q-snap. It's really not stitched crooked. It's just some of these when the Q-snap pulls it tight, it sometimes will pull it a little crooked, or I put it in there crooked, you know. But as long as I have it in my opening there, this piece of fabric is 16 count Aida. No, wait a minute. This one's an 18 count Aida. In the color, it's from Fiber on a Whim, the fabric, and it's in the colorway Caramel Macchiato. This was a piece I had picked up at StitchCon in the attic. This is my first piece of Fiber on a Whim that I had, and I'm enjoying stitching on this piece a lot. So that's how far I was able to get on A Changed World by the Scarlet House. And this one, I believe, I didn't tell you, I am using the called for DMC, except I switched 817 to Classic Colorworks Cupid. And the reason that I did that, I think I kept it in the bag to show you guys. The reason I did that was that the 817 by DMC was a super bright orangey red. I have used some of it already here in the red around the flower here in the corner. But this is the called for. And that is super bright red. And even though this red is still bright, this Classic Colorworks Cupid, it's a little bit more toned down than that one. And so I wanted to go with just a little bit more toned down red. So I did switch out the red color in this one. Wanted to make sure I mentioned that to you guys. In fact, I can refile that. I'm not going to use that one in this this pattern because it's just too in my face. It didn't seem to go with the rest of the sampler. The other one that I had just started, and I just started this one last night, so I didn't get very far on it, but I just got it in, so it is also considered a haul piece. And this is my Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, and it's this piece right here. And I started on of course, this block up here in the left-hand corner is where I started. And believe it or not, I think I worked on it for like 5 hours. And that's how far I got. So it's not that exciting to look at. I am stitching this one, instead of doing like a called for color, I am using all the called for DMCs. Let me see. But this color is 16 count Ada by Picture This Plus, and the color is J, J-A-Y. And it's like a really pretty, like a periwinkle color. It's kind of a blue, purpley blue. So in some lighting, it can look purple like that. In other lighting, it'll look more blue. It is a purpley blue color. And right now, this pattern, what it looks like to me is a graph chart. That's all. And these are, I guess they're supposed to be the weeds popping up around the tombstones at the bottom of this piece. But the reason it took so long, even though it looks like, really, Vicki, and this looks wonky because it is being stretched, I do have a lot of extra fabric. It is all rolled up and being tucked into the Q-Snap, the grime guard. And this grime guard is by Garon Stitchery, Garon Toten Bags. And what I like about it is you can tuck quite a bit of fabric up in there. But I have rolled it up and tucked it in there, and it's kind of, my Q-Snap, everything's pulling it really tight over in this corner, so it's kind of pulled it a little bit wonky, which will be fine once I take it out of the Q-Snap. But each one of these sides, and here again is where I use the stitch 9 stitches, fully X the 10th stitch, etc., 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 because there's 92 stitches on each side of the square. So there's almost 400 stitches just to make the square outline for this block. That took me about 3.5 hours alone. And then I think I spent another hour down here doing these few gold stitches in there. That's it. That's how far I got. But I do want to work on this some more today. That's why this is still sitting on a Q-Snap. This needle minder up here, yeah, my needle's still in there. It is actually just a little pendant, because you could still see the, I don't know if you could see it, the jump ring that's attached here. This was just a pendant that I purchased, I think it was like 50% off at Joann's. And I just glued a magnet on the back of it. And I have the mate magnet right back here on the back. But it's a really cool looking owl with a little bit of steampunk going on with it. But yeah, I use E6000 glue, let it dry overnight, and then you have a needle minder. Simple, easy, quick. So if you have any kind of charms, buttons, whatever, and you just have some magnets, glue them on with E6000 glue, and you've got a needle minder. And another homemade thing for this project, another project bag. I made this one, exact same as the other ones from last week, but I use this Halloween fabric. So this is going to house my Halloween and Hawthorne Hollow. And when it's not on the Q-Snap, it does fit in here. The flosses, all of the DMCs, the pattern, and my big piece of material, my fabric that I'm stitching it on. And I put a, let me see if I can turn it. Is this front ways for you guys? A skeleton, look at him. So this is my, and then it's got that sparkly black fabric that's up at the top here. And then this is kind of glittery too. All of the spiders, the bats, these spider webs are all shimmery, sparkly. So that is my last whip and my last start. So I started 2 new things, worked on a bunch of whips, finished 2 things. So I call it a pretty good week. And I made a project bag. So next is haul. And I wanted to go over some things that I just got in. I had just got in the Halloween at Hawthorne Hollow, and I started that piece. And the next one that's on my radar to start really soon, I put in this beautiful project bag from a seller on Etsy, and I can't remember the name. She doesn't put her insignia on her bags. But this one is, I'm going to use this as a anniversary sampler for my husband and I. This one is called Our Anniversary by Sampler Cove. I picked this up on 123 Stitch. So it has a place where you could put the year you were married, and then that year. I'm going to start it now, and I want to have it finished by our 10th anniversary. And then you can put your initials in there, yours and your husband's initials. I haven't worked on a red piece yet, and this is going to be my first red piece that I'm going to work on. And I figure I got about 2.5 years to finish this. So there you go. Somebody who doesn't do a lot of time constraints with things with their stitching. I figure that gives me, I have over 2.5 years to get this finished. We were married in June of 2014. So in June of 2024, our 10th anniversary, I want to have it finished. So, the pressure's on. It's real, people. No, 2.5 years, I hope so. I'm going to stitch it on a piece of 32 count limestone Lugana, and I am going to stitch it all in red, all the same color. I picked up a few spools of this Anchor 0047. So I'm going to stitch it with this thread on this fabric, and it's going to be my first red sampler, and it's going to be for our 10th anniversary. I picked up 3 spools so far. Each spool on these Anchor ones, these carry, what do I do with my glasses? These have, how many yards? 32.8 yards each. And they are 6-stranded floss. So I figure between 3 of these, I think it is equivalent to, I don't know, 13 or 14 skeins of DMC. So I'm going to use those. If I feel like I need to pick up some more, I can always just do that quite easily. And so this is going to be my red work sampler, and it's going to be for mine and my husband's 10th anniversary. I haven't told him about it yet because I just got this in. But that is in this nice red bag for my red sampler. I'm so coordinated. Yeah. And then the other pieces that I got in, I got 2 pieces in that I don't have a lot of summer stitching. And I saw these 2 pieces and I love them. So the first one is by Country Cottage Needleworks. And this is Summer at the Shore. This is with a seagull and the lighthouse and a ship. Look at that. I just love it. It's not real big, so it's not one of the larger pieces, so I should feasibly be able to get this done in somewhat of a timely manner. And I'm not going to start on it now. I've got too much fall stuff I want to work on right now, and then of course there'll be holiday winter stuff that I want to work on. But this will be on my radar to probably start maybe in late spring next year. Maybe like May, June, start working on that. And then the other one that I purchased is by the Cricket Collection. And this is One If by Sea. It's another lighthouse. I just love it. So I think between these 2 pieces, and then I have another piece that's like a beachy piece. These little beach cottages by Country Cottage Needleworks, or I think, I'm not sure. But at least that'll give me some summer pieces that I can display, besides patriotic, more beachy themed. And then the other piece that I picked up, I can't remember who I saw was stitching this, and I thought that is really pretty. And this is by Blackbird Designs, and this one is called Merrily, Merrily We Welcome Spring. And as always with these blackbirds and some of these antique samplers, the picture just does not do it justice. This is actually really pretty stitched up. So I picked this up, and when I picked it up, I went ahead and added all of the threads. So I do have all but one. One was out of stock. So I do have this partially kitted up to start. I don't think I'll start it for this sampler September, because I could look through my fabric stash and I possibly would have a piece of fabric that would work for this, and I could even sub out the one color I'm missing. I think it's just a brown color. I think it's called Bark that I couldn't get in. So that was my haul. And what else was I going to go over with you guys? Oh, I wanted to go ahead and pass the stash. So I want to do a giveaway. And the first thing that I'm going to give away is this pattern by Jardin Privé. And it's called ABC Halloween. That's one of the pieces I just finished, and I want to pass the stash. So if anybody is interested in a giveaway for this chart, please comment below, like and be a subscriber, and comment below with the word Halloween. So the word Halloween, and add that in your comments. Do not, for either of these giveaways, don't say the word giveaway, don't say prize, freebie, win. You could just say something like, I'd like to stitch Halloween, or Halloween's my favorite season, holiday, whatever you want to say. Or you could just have the word Halloween, and I'll do the random comment picker for anybody who has the word Halloween in their comments. So, and then I'll draw that winner at my next video, which should be in a couple of weeks. Hoping to stay on a couple of week schedule. And then the other one is my Pumpkin Spice by Shannon Christine. So if you're interested in getting this chart, just say the word spice, S-P-I-C-E, spice. And please be at least 18 years old. And like I said, like and subscribe and comment on this video, which is the word spice. And you can enter for both, but you can only win once. So I'm going to pass the stash with both of these patterns. I use my patterns. Normally I try not to write on them. Like I said, when I write, like when I did all those conversions, I copied that sheet and then I wrote all over it. But on my original, I did not write. I do stitch usually from the original, but I usually use my magnetic board, and if I need to keep track of my spaces, and I don't scribble or write on my patterns normally. So there's very, very few I might write something on, but I do work with these copies, so you might see a slight bit of crinkling. They're not going to look brand spanking new, but they're still in very good condition. So good luck with that. And that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. I got a haircut. The lady razored and chopped my hair. I don't know if you can tell. I'm still trying to get used to how to fix it. It's supposed to be a bob, and she wants me to grow out my bangs, but I'm having difficulty there because I just have, they're that long where they're in my eyes, but they're not long enough to really go back or do anything. And then I'm trying to figure out how to fix the back, and what to do with these bangs and all of that good stuff, but trying something new, something a little bit different. And I think that was all I've been up to. I've been doing my stitching, got my hair cut. That's pretty much it. Kind of boring, aren't I? So anyways, I wish you guys a wonderful couple of weeks till I see you again, till I talk with you again. And hopefully I'll have 2 FFOs to show you. Hopefully I'll have those fully finished, and maybe even another finished, because I have another thing that's won't take too long to finish if I can get around to making that my morning piece and see if I can get that one done. But in the meantime, happy stitching, people. just love, and life's short. Just love and enjoy each and every day, and enjoy your loved ones, and happy stitching until I talk with you guys again. Bye.